In this video, we're going to look at the matching question type. So I've got a new question, and from the question type, we're going to select matching. So the matching question type is where you're going to match options to answers, basically. So we'll go ahead and jump right into this. Well, I'm going to write some dummy text. I'm not going to actually fill this out, but I'll just put the equation y equals mx plus b. And then maybe we ask something like, determine which of the following are variables, parameters, or constants. Not really a well-formed sentence, but it gets the job done for now. So we'll quick save and preview. We're not going to have much showing up, but with matching question type, we need to define, if we go into our writing help guide, we need to define a couple things. One of them is questions, which is an array of questions, as well as answers, which is an array of answers that you're going to match to those questions. So we'll go ahead and start with our questions. We'll make it an array of values, and we'll make these all strings. So the first one, we'll do a y with some nice typesetting using those backticks. We'll do x, well, let's do m, and then x, and then b. Okay, so we'll save that, see if that does what we want it to do. However, we still don't have anything displayed, and this is because we haven't actually defined the answers variables yet. So we need to define both of these at the same time. So for our answers, we're going to put, we'll make an array where one of the options is variable, one of them is parameter, and then one of them is constant. So now if we save this in preview, now we see something like we expect. So we've got some questions over here on the left-hand side, and we're supposed to match that with these options on the right-hand side. So you go ahead and you match these up accordingly, and then you submit your answer. Although we haven't actually defined the answer yet, and so the answer that it's going to show is not going to be what we want it to be. So by default, it'll assume that this first element in the questions corresponds to the first answer, second one in the questions corresponds to the second answer, and so on. However, that's not always going to be true. And for example, we have more questions than answers. So we need to be explicit about which answer corresponds to which question. And so we've already used the answers variable. What we're going to use is a variable called match list. And this is a list of how we match questions to answers. So how this works is this is going to be a list. And the first element in this list is going to be corresponding to the first element in the questions array. And we're going to give it a number, which indicates the index within the answers array. So what I mean by that is we look at y, we're assuming y is a variable, and so the correct answer for y is variable, which is index 0 within the answers list. So we'll do 0. Now we look to m. So the next one in the questions is m. M is a parameter, so that's going to match up with parameter, which is index 1 within the answers list. So we'll do 1. Then we look at x. X is a variable, which is index 0 in our answers array. So then we do 0. Then b is going to be a parameter, which is index 1. And so we're going to give another 1 in our match list. So now we'll quick save and preview. We'll make sure this works. So m is a parameter, x is variable, y is variable, b is parameter. We submit that and we get a correct score. So the match list thing can be a little confusing at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty smooth sailing. Now there's some other options here. One nice option is if we do display format equals select. What that's going to do is put all of the actual answers within a drop-down list next to our questions. And so this is a nice feature. Sometimes if your answers are long, this doesn't look very good, but since each one of these is just a single word, it looks kind of nice just having those as a select box right next to the questions. Now you also have some options for like not shuffling certain things and so on. Just go to the writing questions help to see some of those options if you're curious.